No one has to tell Joe Biden what's in the Constitution. He was in the room when it was written. I'm sure The Rock is a good guy and a bright guy. And that is not enough. Not enough. And frankly, the fact that he thinks he can step into the single hardest job in the world with no preparation tells me one thing for sure about his judgment. It's terrible.
Okay, let's be truthful here. Hollywood's fixation on politics has a certain frightful and humorous quality. Every few months, another famous person wakes up, takes a look at themselves, and believes they have what it takes to be the nation's leader. Perhaps they were in an action film. Perhaps they once delivered a moving monologue. Or perhaps they simply became weary of their agent's failure to return calls. For whatever reason, they all appear to believe that leadership comes naturally to those who are famous.
Oh, Bill Maher isn't having any of it.
Maher recently ripped into this strange Hollywood delusion that pretending to be a president somehow makes you one, using his trademark mix of sarcasm and razor-sharp realism. And what do you know? He is entirely correct. He begins with his signature quip. Joe Biden doesn't need to be reminded of the Constitution. When it was written, he was present in the room. Classic Ma is a combination of cunning and savagery. He wasn't really focused on Biden, though. It was the expanding list of famous people who believe that politics is just another way to advance their careers. You have Randy Quaid, Matthew McConaughey, Caitlyn Jenner, and The Rock. That Randy Quaid indeed. As though the Oval Office were an open mic night, they were both toying with the notion of running for high office.
Someone must explain why celebrities running for high office is a recurring nightmare we cannot seem to shake. The Rock, Caitlyn Jenner, Matthew McConaughey, Randy Quaid, they all have suggested lately that when it comes to running the country, they have what it takes. And they do. Malignant narcissism.
Ma also doesn't hold back. Malignant narcissism is what he refers to it as. Sincerely, what kind of ego does it take to think that appearing in a few films somehow equips you for the most difficult job in the world? He draws attention to things that ought to be clear but aren't. Governing is not acting. Being a president is not the same as portraying one on film. A director, a script, ideal lighting, and a group of editors ensure that every error is fixed in post-production. Being a real leader is not like that. There are no second chances when your policies fail, no cheers when your choices result in fatalities, and undoubtedly no makeup artist who can hide the dark spots left by a national emergency. Mars. The point goes beyond merely making fun of the delusions of celebrities. It has to do with Hollywood's perilous conceit. Fame became to equate to believability at some point. People assume you understand geopolitics when you win an Oscar. The audience begins to wonder if you would make a great leader after you portray a tough guy in a blockbuster. Pretending to save the world is not the same as actually doing so, as Ma reminds us.
Matthew McConaughey is, I'm sure, also a lovely person, but when he says he's considering a run for governor in Texas, I must say that is not all right. And I'm not saying that he and all these candidates haven't led lifetimes of glorious achievement. The Rock proved once and for all that weightlifters can drive. Matthew introduced Lincolns to stoners, and Caitlyn married the woman who married the guy who defended O.J. And it's not that they are actors, it's that they're not professionals in this other field called government.
And Ma doesn't mince words about Caitlyn Jenner. Based on her experience as a supporting player in a reality program that isn't about her, he makes a joke about Jenner running the 5th largest economy in the world. Fair but brutal. How are you going to govern a state of 39 million people if you can't maintain control over your own family's reality show? Next up is Randy Quaid. Maher also talks about him, claiming that he went from playing Cousin Eddie in National Lampoon's Vacation to actually rummaging through your trash can. And he believes he can now govern California. When the guest roles on Chicago Fire ran out, did public office become the backup plan? Just that line is worthy of a slow applause.
Clap. I'm sure Caitlyn Jenner is a nice person, but as California governor, she would be in charge of the world's 5th largest economy, based on her qualifications of being a background character in a reality show not about her. Randy Quaid, who you will remember as Cousin Eddie in the Vacation movies and as Guy rooting through your recycling bin in real life, also says he might want to run our state. When did governing become the safety school for when the guest spots on Chicago Fire dry up?
However, Maher's true message goes beyond personal insults. It's all about the wider view. He is drawing attention to a cultural issue, the notion that competence equates to celebrity. The ability to entertain does not equate to the ability to manage others. These two universes are completely distinct. Being in charge isn't glamorous. It's gritty, intricate, and full of difficult decisions that don't need a pedestal. Maher reminds us that politics shouldn't be the place where washed-up celebrities go to get safe. It's a field that demands in-depth expertise, self-control, and humility, which are not exactly areas in which Hollywood excels. He goes so far as to say that the government is the lowest level of celebrity. Rock stars, movie stars, TV stars, Dancing with the Stars, magicians, and lawmakers, he said. The realization that he is not mistaken is both amusing and depressing.
We treat government like the lowest rung of celebrity. Rock stars, movie stars, TV stars, Dancing with the Stars, magicians, congressmen. Governing is a difficult, nuanced job with people's lives and livelihoods at stake. Perhaps you've noticed that things in America have been a little different these last 5 months. That's because there are people back in charge who spent their formative years not on a soundstage, but studying the stuff you need to know to be effective on the world stage.
Photo ops and camera angles have no place in governance. Millions of lives are impacted by dull, uninteresting topics like budgets, policies, and diplomacy. You cannot improvise your way through a global crisis or fake it with charisma. For it, there is no green screen. And Maher uses one of his sharpest phrases to perfectly capture that idea. Putin doesn't care about your $1 million smile, and he's not on a green screen. He's right, so that one hits hard. This isn't a film. There are plenty of genuine villains in the world who don't give a damn about your Instagram following or fan base. Power is important to them. They will devour you if you enter that chamber unprepared. Naturally, Maher now also makes his typical jabs at Democrats. He joked that since he was present when the Constitution was drafted, Biden doesn't need to be reminded of its contents. Here's the problem, though. Maher isn't merely roasting for amusement. He is bringing up a valid argument. Experience counts. It's important to prepare. Running a nation is not something you can decide to do overnight. I must admit that I concur with him. Maher is dead in about one point, despite his tendency toward the left. There is no reality show in politics. Being president means you can't wing it. Policy flaws cannot be fixed after the fact. Therefore, when you make a mistake, there is no director yelling cut.
This guy was a rock star, but because he was good in his field of government. That's not you.
He even challenges anyone who aspires to be a famous politician. Which organization is in charge of our nuclear weapons? What is said in the 14th Amendment? Who is India's prime minister? Do you realize that Belarus is a nation and not just Putin's lunch order if he says he wants to take it? It hurts, but it's essential since leaders need to understand these fundamentals. The afternoon of your inauguration is not the time to study them.
What agency is responsible for our nuclear weapons? What does the 14th Amendment say? Who's the prime minister of India? In the event of another nuclear standoff with Russia or China, describe Kennedy's strategy that got us out of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Governing is not a job you can pick up on the afternoon of the inauguration. You can't learn it on the fly. You can't fix it in post. Putin's not on a green screen, and he doesn't give a shit about your $1 million smile. If he tells you at a summit that he'd like to take Belarus now, you have to know that's a country and not his lunch order.
Maher isn't advocating for celebrities to stay out of politics, though. He's making a point about being ready. Study public service if you are genuinely interested in it. Understand how the government operates. Know the meaning of policy, how budgets work, and how diplomacy works. Don't assume that you can achieve unity by tweeting. Speaking of unity, Maher exposes one of the most absurd defenses used by famous people such as The Rock, the notion that they can bring the nation together. That sounds good, doesn't it? Unfortunately, it's pure fantasy.
No one has to tell Joe Biden what's in the Constitution. He was in the room when it was written. I'm sure The Rock is a good guy and a bright guy. And that is not enough. Not enough. And frankly, the fact that he thinks he can step into the single hardest job in the world with no preparation tells me one thing for sure about his judgment. It's terrible.
According to Maher, The Rock says he can bring people together because everyone likes his movies. Response from Maher: you can't. Both the red and blue states enjoy your dumb films. That's absolutely accurate, but it's also barbaric. Divergent tastes in entertainment are not the cause of America's division. It's about profound ideological divides that cannot be reconciled by a famous person's smile. Charming your way out of polarization is not an option. You cannot navigate international policy by saying, all right, all right, all right.
Policy.
You need more proof? Kanye West thought he could do it. The Rock says he might be the right man for the job because he believes he can unite the country. You can't. Why? Because the blue states and red states both like your stupid movies? Let me put it bluntly to you and all these would-be showbiz candidates. You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, and doggone it, it completely doesn't matter that people like you.
To be honest, the joke about the alien invasion on Mars is a bit too personal. We would hear the aliens say, "Take us to your leader," and they would be driven to Mar-a-Lago by 70% of Republicans. It's humorous, but it also portrays our divisions in a terribly real way. This is where things start to get interesting, though. The criticism of Mars is not limited to famous people. It also holds true for politicians. Even longtime public servants like Kamala Harris still have trouble expressing themselves clearly and thoughtfully. What chance does an actor have if professional politicians can't do it correctly? Maher's argument is painfully straightforward. It takes more than simply presence to be a leader. Being competent is more important than being liked. He concludes by saying something that all voters should hear. Notoriety does not equate to office suitability. Policy is not popularity. Competence is not the same as charm. Furthermore, just because you like someone on film doesn't guarantee that they'll act morally when lives are at stake.
They like you now because you're an entertainer and thus largely uncontroversial. Governing is the opposite. If you think you can unite the country, you're delusional. A space alien attack couldn't unite this country. The aliens would say, "Take us to your leader," and 70% of Republicans would drive them to Mar-a-Lago.
Maher's statement to The Rock that, "You're not good enough, people like you, but that doesn't mean you're smart enough." Although harsh, this is the reality. Because you are not a leader just because you are likable. Being well-known does not qualify you. Furthermore, being a role model in a film does not equate to being able to manage a crisis when the world is on fire at 3 in the morning. And to be honest, we all need to hear it because, in the end, we voters continue to support this absurdity. Elections are handled like talent showcases by us. We are the ones who confuse charm with skill. Politics has become reality TV. When the outcomes seem predetermined, we then complain. Perhaps it's time for us to stop being fooled by the illusion of celebrity. Don't mistake celebrity for skill. Give up believing that the person who provided us with the most entertainment should be in charge. The reality of leadership, the choices that impact people's lives, the policies that impact families, and the unavoidable repercussions are what remain after the cameras stop rolling. The cheers stop and the slogans fade. When Maher was driving home, that was the reality. Hollywood isn't the only factor. We, the viewers and voters, are the focus. It's possible that we have secretly persuaded a lot of unfit celebrities that they cannot run for politics. Maybe we should all take a big breath and ask why the next time a movie celebrity says they're considering running. Why should we give a country's keys to someone whose primary skill is being endearing on camera? We must no longer allow fame to deceive us. Being loved isn't the goal of leadership. It's about taking responsibility. Who delivers the finest speech is not the point. Who gets to make the toughest decisions when no one is supporting them? Maher's tirade may sound harsh, but perhaps we need a bit harsh reality in a society where everyone pretends to be the next president. And feel free to click the like button whether you agree with it or not. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts with me. Could America truly be brought together by The Rock? Or is Ma correct in saying that the entire trend of celebrity politicians is a complete farce? In any case, be sure to subscribe, as we have a lot more in store for you. You won't want to miss what comes next, I promise.